Happy Tuesday, everybody. It's good to see you again. It is the 22nd day of October, 2019. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'm Dan Kuntz, your host. We are the number one rated local live television show in the greater Wenatchee area. So I'm told. 2 weeks from Election Day. Can you believe that? Yeah, 2 weeks from Election Day. Most everybody should have their ballot by now. If you don't get your ballot in the mail by, say, like tomorrow, go ahead and give your local county auditor a call. They're really good. They're professionals. They'll help you out. They'll see if they can track it down for you. So if you haven't gotten your ballot in the mail yet, give it another day. If you don't get it by Wednesday, give Skipper Thad a call. They'll take care of you. Big change in the weather starts happening today. As you can see, we got clear skies. It's going to be a beautiful morning. We're done with the rain. No rain at all in the foreseeable future as far as the forecast is concerned. But we have a wind advisory, and it starts right now. They posted this at about 3 o'clock in the morning. The National Weather Service did. Wind advisory in effect from 7 a.m., which is now, until 5 o'clock tonight. Going to be quite windy, especially this afternoon. The strongest winds will be between about noon and about 4 or so. We'll show you some graphics when we get to the weather forecast, so be prepared for breezy conditions. Going to be a mild day today. In fact, the next couple of days look very nice indeed. And we'll have quite a bit of sunshine this weekend as well, but a cold Arctic Canadian air mass is going to move down from British Columbia over the weekend. Going to give us lots of sunshine, but it's going to cool us way down. Forecast details are coming up. The news department was very busy yesterday. We'll recap what happened on Monday and preview what we're working on Tuesday when we get to the news. We got sports. Seahawks still dealing with the loss to Baltimore on Sunday. Not a lot of things went right. The formula that the Seahawks like to use so well didn't work so well on Sunday. We'll talk about that when we get to sports. Plus, we have the obscure holiday. We got some celebrity birthdays. We got Today in History. Everybody's entitled to Mike McNally's opinion, and we continue our week-long series of profiles for Make a Difference Day projects. I had a chance to go up last week to Lake Wenatchee. They got 2 big cleanup projects, both involving the 2 big camps there that are run by the YMCA. So Tim McElravy and I walked around the YMCA camp on the north shore of Lake Wenatchee, and then I went over to the south shore to Camp Zanika, Lache, and Carla Cox and I wandered around to talk about all the big cleanup efforts that they're going to do, and they want your help come Saturday. In fact, they're even going to put you up and feed you. How good is that? They'd like to have you come up on Friday if you can. Bring a sleeping bag, and you can hang out at the camp. It's beautiful camp areas, both the Y and Zanika, Lache, beautiful areas. And then you can work on Saturday. They'll feed you. Maybe work a little bit on Sunday. So Make a Difference Day is on Saturday the 26th, but it's kind of a Make a Difference weekend for the Y camp and Camp Zanika, Lache, those coming up. And one more chance to win those tickets to see Jason Lyle Black, the pianist who will be performing tonight at the Wenatchee High School Auditorium. It's part of the Wenatchee Community Concert Association. Got a pair of tickets. You can win them. And I'll tell you how you can do that before this show is over. All right, we have dispensed with the preliminaries. Let's move on to our cameras around the valley, courtesy of our friends at Localtel and the Sky-Fi. Set up, that is the cross camera, pulled back a little bit, tilted up a little bit, a great view. It doesn't do it justice, it really doesn't. That incredible view that we see from the Wenatchee and East Wenatchee area. Of course, these are called PTZ cameras. That means we can pan them, we can tilt them, we can zoom them. We can go in and out and up and about, and you do the hokey pokey. Beautiful morning this morning. Sun's gonna be working its way up above the horizon in about 20 more minutes. Sunrise is at 7:29. This morning, sunset exactly 6 o'clock tonight. That'll buy us 10 hours and 31 minutes of daylight. And we had another cool day yesterday. We only hit 50. That's our normal high for the 21st of October. Should have been 58 degrees. So as we mentioned yesterday, every day, and I mean every day this month in October, with one exception, back on October 7th, every day except October 7th, our afternoon high has been below normal. And our overnight low last night was 35. It's 43 right now outside of our studios. Gorgeous morning today. Let's go see where we're going. Megan, where are we off to? We're going to do a slow dissolve and say good morning to the top of McNeil Canyon, I believe. It looks a little cloudier up there in the Lake Chelan area. That could just be high clouds. It could be an optical illusion. It's certainly Lake Chelan out there. The Lake Chelan mayoral race between the incumbent Mike Cooney and the challenger Bob Getty, who of course served a previous term as mayor, is going to be one of the more interesting races that we are following here on the NCW Live channel. Good morning to the greater Lake Chelan area as seen from the top of McNeil Canyon. Camera 3. We're going to pay a visit to, are we back to Hose Landing again, or is that Stamen Flats? That's Stamen Flats. Stamen Flats and Hose Landing look a lot alike, even though Stamen Flats is in Chelan County and Hose Landing is in Douglas County. The way that the angles of the camera, the elevation of what they see, I can sometimes get those confused. Again, you see some high overcast skies there, no real rain. In fact, we were supposed to get some significant rain yesterday. Didn't really happen, just had some light drizzle here and there. It kind of passed by our way. And as I mentioned before, all that active weather that we had over the course of basically a week is all gone. There is another storm system, a weak one. It's going to come in Friday, but it's not going to pack a lot of punch. And then, as I mentioned before, it's going to cool down for the weekend. Those details are just about a minute away. Finally, our fourth and final camera is shaking like crazy. I don't know, Nanapoc? Hey, I guessed. It was a complete and total guess. Good morning to our friends up at Lake Wenatchee. Again, the Y Camp and Camp Zanika Lache. Look at the wind picking that baby up and shaking that camera around. Now, they're designed to move a little bit. I mean, you can't have the towers that these cameras sit on. They can't be completely, thank you, Megan, they can't be completely locked in so they can't move at all. They're designed to move a little bit in the wind, to have a little bit of give and take to them. So you can see it's certainly starting to pick up wind-wise in the Lake Wenatchee, Winton, Coles Corner area, and that's going to be the case right here with the Wenatchee Valley from the National Weather Service. Your forecast, the big story today, going to be the wind. We have a wind advisory. There you go. Look at your gusts, folks, where you live. These are going to be the strongest gusts. You folks up in the Waterville Plateau, you could see gusts up at 45 miles an hour. Some of the exposed ridges and areas such as, say, Jump Off Ridge, Wenatchee Heights, Mission Ridge, you could see gusts to 40 to 45 miles an hour. Certainly the Waterville Plateau. Here in the Wenatchee Valley, the occasional gust above 30 is a distinct possibility. So a wind advisory is in effect. It started about 8 minutes ago, and it will run until 5 o'clock this afternoon. They're expecting the strongest winds to be between around noon to about 5 this afternoon. So a quick heads up on that. It's going to be windy. Outside of that, look at that high, 62. That would be above normal. It's supposed to be a very mild day as we have some warm air being ushered in with this wind. Clear tonight, little wind, northwest wind about 6 to 15 miles an hour. We'll dip down to 39. Good looking Wednesday, no real wind at all. Lots of sunshine, 58. Thursday, lots of sunshine, 59. A weak weather system comes through Friday. It's hardly going to affect us at all. Look at the high on Friday, 68. I haven't put my shorts away yet. That's good news. And then in comes this cold Arctic air we were talking about. It's going to be dry. It's going to be dry. No rain at all for the weekend. It's going to move in for the weekend into the early part of next week. It's going to cool us way down with those overnight lows just about the freezing mark. And afternoon highs are going to struggle to get into the lower 50s. So all in all, no complaints at all. Lots and lots of sunshine. And for Make a Difference Day Saturday, sunshine with an afternoon high of 56. We got no complaints about that. That's looking good. So good looking weather forecast. Thank you, Mother Nature. After all that rain and the cool temperatures, we're in for a very pleasant stretch of weather. Very October-like around north central Washington. Just about 9 minutes after the hour, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have your Tuesday morning news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We're broadcasting live this morning from Studio 1 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Live channel.
My experience with CVCH, I had to come in with my daughter by myself with a cut in my hand that required stitches. And the care and compassion at CVCH was really significant, that they took the care and compassion and made me feel more as a human instead of just a patient there. The care they have for their community all around, inside and outside the clinic, is what I feel like is different. And that's what makes me want to come back to CVCH and recommend them to my friends and family.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
We're back. Fair skies and 43 degrees outside of our studios. Lots of sunshine today, highs in the lower 60s. The big weather story today is going to be the wind. Very windy at times. We have a wind advisory that's in effect now, and we'll go into the early evening hours. At 10 minutes after the hour, here's what's making headlines. Grant County deputies are seeking the driver and the occupants of the full-sized GM four-door pickup that you see there is connected to a shooting that happened around noon on Sunday at the 9400 block of Maple Drive near Moses Lake. Target person was working on a car in the driveway. The suspect exited the vehicle, fired at the targeted person, but missed. Now, the shooter got into the pickup and left the scene. Fortunately, the intended target was not injured, but unfortunately, the intended target is being uncooperative with authorities. North Central Washington could benefit from the latest legal settlement in the opioid crisis. 4 drug companies agreed Monday to settle a federal lawsuit brought by 2 Ohio counties for their part in distributing opioid painkillers that led to a wave of addiction and more than 47,000 deaths in 2017 alone. Now, those cases are related to a suit filed by Chelan County last year. Daniel Menschur is a Seattle attorney. He's representing Chelan County as well as other communities in Washington state.
The direct answer to your question is, does this affect Chelan? No, because it wasn't one of the bellwether cases. So its claims remain unresolved. That doesn't mean that this is irrelevant for Chelan County or any of the other counties in the state of Washington or in the Northwest. In fact, this, I think, is a really good sign. We feel very good that this is a good step forward toward reaching a global resolution. In some ways, the sort of the moral side of the, in my opinion anyway, the moral issues here are really straightforward. We have some defendants who engaged in some really horrendous activities and profited incredibly handsomely from it. But unfortunately, the litigation like this is very complicated. I hope that we are on the verge of really resolving all of these things.
In other news this morning, if you joined the U.S. Concealed Carry Association in the last year, you were probably sold illegal insurance in the process. The state insurance commissioner says the association bundled insurance into its membership that offered to cover legal costs if a member was charged with a crime for use of a firearm. But in Washington state, the law does not allow the sale of insurance against intentional criminal activity. USCCA sold the insurance to 1,600 members last year and has to pay a $100,000 fine, and they can never offer the insurance again if they want to keep doing business in Washington state. Well, on the first day of this month, the Wenatchee School District welcomed a second resource police officer to their hallways, Officer Jared Shepard from the Wenatchee Police Department. Officer Shepard joined Officer Jared Reinfeld, who's a resource officer for the last couple of years, on this week's Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Mad Dog McNaughty.
2 for a few years, and then it went down to 1, and then it stayed 1 for a while, and then we had a gap from about, I think, 2008 when things kind of crashed, where we didn't have anybody for a while, and then we picked 1 up and we rode with 1 for a few years, and luckily we're back up to 2 now.
You're predominantly in the middle schools, right? Or is there any crossover, or what's the workload plan?
I think we can. I mean,
Jared and I have been talking about it, and we think the intention of hiring a second school resource officer is to get more presence in the middle schools.
Okay.
And I think, as well, we think that the intention was to just get more officer presence in the schools. So having 2, like Jared had talked about earlier, is going to give us both the opportunity to get into the schools more frequently, and not just for police-related issues. We're going to split it up. We're each going to do some time in the high schools and the middle schools. We kind of divided up the elementary schools a little bit, and so we're going to, work kind of where we are right now, and then flip-flop at the end of the calendar year, beginning of 2020.
Okay.
Speaking of schools, on this Tuesday morning, 4th graders in Wenatchee learned a productive way to use their computer screen time recently during a visit from a Forest Service official. Fire prevention technician Jessica Gilmore visited Washington and John Newberry Elementary Schools to talk about fire safety and the Every Kid Outdoors program. It's a pilot project to see if she can bring the outdoors indoors. According to Gilmore, the students were shown a variety of websites where they can learn more about Forest Service health and play online games set up by the Forest Service. They also were given a free forest access pass. Next up for the visits will be Lewis and Clark Elementary this month and then Mission View Elementary in November. Well, Pangbourne Memorial Airport will briefly cease to exist. As part of the consolidation of the Chelan and Douglas County Port Districts, the airport will be legally dissolved as an entity so the new port organization can take charge. Now, the airport obviously isn't going anywhere. Douglas County Port Director Lisa Park says it's just a legal technicality that has to happen as part of the transition. The airport's executive board is scheduled to vote on the dissolution today. And like a lot of cities and towns around Washington state, Chelan has an issue with the lack of affordable housing, made even worse by the fact that Chelan is also a desirable destination, meaning more people want to live there. NCW Life News recently sat down with the mayor of Chelan, Mike Cooney, who said the city is trying to be proactive when it comes to attainable housing.
Outside of our city roles, we formed this housing trust, and the purpose of it was to address a critical need in our town to get homes that people can't afford to buy. A lot of people don't like the term affordable housing, so we use the term attainable housing. They're interchangeable. Basically what it is they are homes that we are getting built through community effort. It is a true grassroots community effort of land donation, capital donations, and we're going to start our first project in the spring, and we're really excited about it. It's a block behind City Hall. There's going to be 5 homes built. They're going to sell at $200,000. And so you contrast that with in City of Chelan, it's really hard to find anything $350,000 or below. Your median house price in Chelan is like $475,000. So the average median income per household is about $52,000. So those numbers just don't jive. It's hard to tell somebody to jump higher to get a house. And I think we're slowly whittling away at this kind of misnomer that we're building affordable homes as some type of socialistic type of thing. We see it as a purely capitalistic thing as far as keeping your workforce, a stable workforce in town. There's a lot of people, there's about 40 families move each year out of our town because they can't afford to stay in town.
And that's a look at what's making headlines on this Tuesday morning, the 22nd day of October. Once again, if you just joined us, we have a wind advisory posted by the National Weather Service. Going to be very windy, especially this afternoon in the Wenatchee Valley. We'll have gusts up above 30 miles an hour in the more exposed areas of our viewing establishment. For instance, the Waterville Plateau, you can see gusts above 45 miles an hour. Get ready for a windy day, especially this afternoon, and a little residual wind tonight. That was what's making headlines on this Tuesday. Some of the stories we're working on for tonight's evening news. Here's our friend Grant Olson.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, the wet weather pattern we've been seeing is coming to an end, and now we get to deal with some pretty strong winds. I'll have your complete weather forecast. Eric Granstrom will have a look at some of the day's local and state sports activities and all that coming up tonight and more on the 5, 6, and 10 NCW Life Evening News. Hope you'll join us then. Dan?
It's make an appointment to watch the news every night. Grant, right here, you should do the same. As Grant mentioned, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock, also available on demand by going to our website at ncwlife.com. And we archive all of our newscasts, so if you missed it, you can go back and look at it whenever you darn well please. At the bottom of your screen are all the different ways you can get a hold of us. We'd love to hear from you. You can go to our website, ncwlife.com, click on the Contact Us icon, fill out the form, boom, we get it. You can email us. That's my preferred way. News at ncwlife.com. You can pick up the telephone and give us a call, give us a news tip. You can drop us a line via our Facebook page. We try to give you all the tools that are available to you for you to get a hold of us. And among those is email. And I want to remind you one more time, I got a pair of tickets to see Jason Lyle Black. He's a phenomenal pianist. I think he bills himself as a comedic pianist. He plays a mean piano is what he does. He'll be at the Wenatchee High School Auditorium tonight as part of the Wenatchee Community Concert Association. 7 o'clock tonight at the Wenatchee High School Auditorium. Winner at ncwlife.com is the email address. Winner at ncwlife.com. One entry per email address, please. We keep a close eye on that. Here's a little snippet of Jason Lyle Black.
Make them into the songs you are supposed to play. All right, so observe. Let's say that I had to play Rondo alla Turca for my piano recital. But I would rather be playing Beat It by Michael Jackson. We'll see if you can catch the hidden Michael Jackson in the Mozart. one of my favorite things is to actually make a song with each audience. So I'm going to have you guys do that with me right now. So I need a first note from this side of the room, any note. I heard an F sharp loudest, okay, so we've got a little... Oh boy. I need to find out what styles you guys would like to hear this in. Okay. Oh, let's see. We had ragtime, polka, jazz, Mozart, Handel. I think I'm going to have to take that Handel because, boy, I've never had that one.
So that's a little taste of Mr. Jason Lyle Black. Again, he's going to be performing tonight at the Wenatchee High School Auditorium. If you want to win a pair of tickets, email me winner@ncwlife.com. I will draw the one winner who gets a pair of tickets. One winner gets a pair of tickets, and I'll do that drawing at 10 o'clock this morning. So you have until 10 o'clock. One entry per email address. Please, news@ncwlife.com. The show is 7 o'clock tonight, and it's courtesy of the Wenatchee Community Concert Association. So winner@ncwlife.com. Send me an email if you want to go. We're going to take a break. When we come back, sports, the obscure holiday, today in history, birthdays. Everyone is entitled to Mike McNally's opinion. And we're going camping this weekend. We're going working this weekend as well. 2 conversations you don't want to miss. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 2 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
Hello, Wenatchee Valley, from the staff at Collins Fashions. Christy, Heidi, Georgia, Julene, Judy, and I, we are your Brighton headquarters for the Valley, and we are here to assist you with your personal and gift-giving needs of jewelry, handbags, sunglasses, etc. We carry your favorite brands such as Tommy Bahama, Karen Kane, Tribal, Jag, Nick and Zoe, Joseph Ribkop, foundations from Spanx and Shapies, cute, comfortable shoes and sandals. Our staff will style you head to toe at Collins, where fun meets fashion in downtown Wenatchee.
Travel enhances your life in every way. Let the travel professionals at Journey Travel and Tours help you plan that dream vacation. Don't leave the important details to those nameless, faceless online agencies. At Journey Travel and Tours, our goal is to build relationships that last a lifetime. And when you do need help, we have a 24-hour helpline that is routed to one of the agents in our office. When you think travel, think Journey Travel and Tours. It's where your journey begins. Like us on Facebook, and you could be one of our monthly winners.
And we're back at 23 minutes after the hour. The sun's just starting to get the job done. Lots of sunshine today. Windy, highs in the lower 60s. Let's talk sports. It is the 115th playing of the World Series, my favorite sporting event. Game 1 tonight. Of course, in Houston, it's the Astros and the Nationals. The first time in the history of the Washington Nationals. Of course, they go all the way back to as the Montreal Expos. First time in franchise history they've made it to the Fall Classic. Houston, of course, enters the World Series for the 3rd time, the last time being a couple of years ago when they beat the Dodgers in 7 games. The Nats will send 11-game winner Max Scherzer to the mound against Houston's 20-game winner Garrett Cole. First pitch on Fox 5:08 tonight. I cannot wait. Seahawks, their coaching staff constantly preaches the importance of possessing the ball. Keep the ball on offense, take it away on defense. Of course, that did not happen in either case on Sunday's 30-16 loss to the Baltimore Ravens, and Coach Pete Carroll is quite aware of that fact.
You know, as you look at this game, you think it's all about the ball that they got, and their turnovers, we didn't get any. And a week ago, we get 4. This week, we get nothing, and it makes a huge difference, obviously, in the outcome. And the rest of this game was a really good, hard-fought game, both sides battling, just slugging it out, kind of like we wanted to do, and we thought it could go like that, and would be a game that might be a last possession type of game, and we had a chance to make it that way, at least that way, had we taken care of the football better. So the lessons couldn't be more obvious, and we couldn't be more clear about what we needed to do to change it. And so we're going right back to work. We're not going to spend any time on this game any more than we would otherwise. But I want to do a good job of putting it behind us and getting going. We've got to go to Atlanta and finish up this first half of the season in best fashion that we can. So that's what we'll do.
Of course, the Ravens intercepted Russell Wilson, ran it back 63 yards for a touchdown. Later on in the game, DK Metcalf fumbled. They returned it for an 18-yard score. But Coach Pete Carroll says, hey, we're going to focus on the positive and we're going to move forward.
I thought what was impressive about it, and if anybody was wondering how that would affect, our offense or affect the quarterback, and we came right back with a really good drive and answered, went down the field and tied the game back up, and I think. So that's one statement of it. How did it affect you? And we weren't rattled by it at all, and we went back to business. But we know, the deep seated. We know we got to get the football to match that turnover, and so we were after it. We were trying.
Baltimore quarterback Lamar Jackson was really good. He gouged Seattle's defense for 116 yards, was sacked only once. That gives the Seahawks a total of 11 sacks through 7 games. That ranks 27th in the NFL, but head coach Pete Carroll says, it's no big deal.
Again, I think this is something that you guys are going to worry about a lot more than I am. I really would love to get more sacks. We'd love to have more hits on the quarterback whenever, because that gives us the ball for the most part. But, we're just going to keep battling away. I think now, if we're going to get better, it's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. I think the fact that Jay Reed's back out there should make a difference. And he played real hard and came out of the game healthy and all that. And being his first game this, in a month and a half, he'll get better and help us.
Seahawks head to Atlanta on Sunday to take on the Falcons. Their Falcons head coach used to be the Seattle defensive coordinator, Dan Quinn. The Falcons are struggling, though. They're just 1-6. Kickoff Sunday morning is at 10 a.m. All right, let's look at the prep sports schedule for today. We'll start out with girls soccer because you got to start somewhere. Off to the pitch we go. Brewster hosts Bridgeport. Omak is in Chelan. They get going at 4. Tonight at 6. You have Sela at Ephrata. Quincy hosting Prosser. Wenatchee travels to Moses Lake. Cascade will host Okanagan at 6:30. At 7 o'clock tonight is Eastmont and Sunnyside at Wildcat Stadium in East Wenatchee. To the volleyball courts tonight, Antioch will host Pateras at 5:30. Okanagan is in Leavenworth to take on Cascade at 6:30. Chelan is at Omak. The 7 o'clock games feature Ephrata at Ellensburg. Quincy's in Sela. Eastmont's on the road in Sunnyside. The Wenatchee Panthers host Moses Lake, and we will have that game here with Eric Grandstrom, 6:45 pregame, and they'll start serving the volleyball at 7 o'clock tonight right here. In cross-country action today, the Big Nine has their second meet of the season. They'll be at Blue Heron State Park in Moses Lake, 3:30, and at 4 o'clock, Cascade will host Cashmere and Enchantment Park. A reminder of what's coming up this week on our television broadcast schedule. As we mentioned, we got Moses Lake Wenatchee volleyball from Wenatchee High School at 7 o'clock tonight. Hockey night Thursday features Wenatchee and the West Kelowna Warriors. That gets going at 7. And then Friday Night Lights features the Big Nine game of the week, Wenatchee and the Sunnyside Grizzlies at 7 o'clock. And we'll be airing the West Valley Wenatchee girls soccer game this Saturday at 1. Now, the game is going to be played Thursday night at 7. It was moved to Thursday because of a death of a student at West Valley. The funeral for that student is set on Saturday, so they decided to move it to Thursday. In fact, Wenatchee Athletic Director Jim Beeson says all of the soccer games, the C team, the JV, the varsity, they've been moved to Thursday. It's homecoming week at Wenatchee High School. There's a dance on Saturday, so it worked out pretty good for all those planning to attend Saturday night's festivities. So all of you parents and all the others who are planning to attend the West Valley Wenatchee soccer game on Saturday, all of those games have been moved to Thursday. We will broadcast it on Thursday. We will broadcast Thursday's game on Saturday. All right, just so you know. So we're going to record the game on Thursday, playback on Saturday at 1 o'clock. There you go. And that's just some of the games that people are playing on this Tuesday. The obscure holiday of the day today on this October 22nd is National Nut Day. Nuts. Many, many thousands of different nuts exist all over the world. Of course, nuts are extremely nutritious. They're packed with all kinds of omega-3 fatty acids, fibers, good stuff. They're a great addition to any diet. They have done a long and comprehensive study on the history of nuts. They've had excavations in Israel, Iran, Texas. They have discovered that people have been eating nuts about as long as they've been eating, period. They found archaeological evidence that human beings were eating nuts 50,000 BC. That's pretty darn impressive. Of course, nuts have a long shelf life. They're portable. So it was a very popular food from the very get-go of the human race. I got some nutty facts about nuts. Cashews are fine. The shells are toxic. So just eat the cashew, don't eat the shell, or you'll become violently ill. Peanuts are not nuts. Nope. They're legumes. Yeah, they're legumes. Did not know that. Pistachios are actually the seed of a fruit. Cashews are really fruits. Didn't know that. The ancient Greeks would treat chronic coughing with hazelnuts. 1 serving of walnuts will supply all of your omega-3 requirements for the day. 1 serving of chestnuts will provide 20% of your vitamin C. We don't normally associate vitamin C in nuts, but it's true. And 40% of the world's almond supply is purchased by manufacturers of chocolate. No surprise there. Happy National Nut Day today. Today in history, this is the 222nd anniversary of the first guy who ever jumped out of something with a parachute. It happened above Paris, about 3,200 feet above Paris. André Jacques Janin was his name. He went up in a balloon. He let the balloon go. Underneath that was a parachute, and then he slowly floated to the ground. So he didn't jump out of anything. The thing just sort of went down to the ground, but it still took a lot of chutzpah. The first ever parachute jump happened on this date in Paris, France, back in 1797. A happy birthday to the prime meridian of longitude. It was on this date. That's the actual site. That's the observatory. That's the Royal Observatory in Great Britain. All the countries got together and they said, okay, latitude, not a problem. That's the equator. Something's got to be longitude. We know what that is. What's this going to be? So they sat around and they debated, and eventually they said, well, one place has got to be the prime meridian for longitude. So they said, we'll just make it the Royal Observatory in Britain. It was already there. It was called the International Meridian Conference, and every country in attendance voted to put it at the Royal Observatory in Great Britain, with the exception of France. France voted no. Britain and France had issues back in those days. And this is the 57th anniversary of, well, President Kennedy. You got to tell the folks now what you've known for about 5 days. They knew for about 5 or 6 days what was going on in Cuba, that there were missiles being installed by the Soviets. Reconnaissance planes found them. Kennedy talked to various people. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Finally, he decided, I got to tell the American people that we're going to quarantine Cuba, and we're on the very brink of nuclear war. For those people who were alive back in those days, they tell me, they said, for about 4 days there, we were really freaked out. It was probably about as close as we have come to global thermonuclear war when the Cuban Missile Crisis went full bore, when JFK addressed the nation, said, we found something and we don't like it. Soviets, you were on notice. Eventually, of course, everything calmed down, but the Cuban Missile Crisis became a full-blown crisis on this date back in 1962. And finally, at 33 minutes after the hour, we got birthdays. Curly Howard of the Three Stooges. Here's my Curly doll here. I remember that remark. Yeah, Curly. Curly Howard, my favorite stooge, was born in this state in 1903. He died in 1952. The Three Stooges are the perfect entertainment elixir if you've had a bad day and you want to laugh without having to think about anything. Just laugh out loud. You can't go wrong with the Three Stooges short. Curly Howard of the Three Stooges. I had a Larry and a Moe. Dog chewed him up. I was able to save Curly, though. Happy 81st birthday to Christopher Lloyd, of course, from Taxi. That was his big breakthrough, but he was in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, of course, Back to the Future as well. He still dabbles in acting now and again, does some voice work. Christopher Lloyd is 81 years old today. Deepak Chopra, everybody's favorite physician and author. There's Deepak. He is 73 years old. Everybody should read the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. Deepak Chopra, one of the best-selling authors in the world, is 73 years old today. And happy 46th birthday to Ichiro. Ichiro is 46 years old today. He will eventually, of course, be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame, probably in 5 years, his first year of eligibility. All right, 34 minutes after the hour. Going to take a break. When we come back, Mike McNaughty has an opinion. He always does. And then 2 conversations I taped last week at beautiful Lake Wenatchee with Tim McElravy of the YMCA camp and Carla Cox from Camp Zanika Lache. Make a Difference Day is this weekend. Those conversations coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Transform your windows with a variety of colors and styles like the Allure Transitional Window Covering by Lafayette Interior Fashions. Hi, this is Darren with Mini Blinds and More. We can install the latest and greatest in technology to open and close your blinds with only a touch of a button. From the largest windows in your home to room darkening shades for the bedroom. From stylish shades for your entertainment room to custom blinds for those hard-to-fit places. We have a solution for all of your window covering needs. We offer a variety of window coverings from Lafayette Interior Fashions. Call us today We are Mini Blinds and More, your local blind store.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you get 35 years of experience and customer service in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's friendly staff strongly believe in repairing before replacing and service all major brands of HVAC units. Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning is your local, independent, trained comfort specialists, proudly serving all of North Central Washington. Call 884-6444 today.
Let Fitterers Furniture help you turn your dreams into reality with their exciting selection of quality furnishing and accessories. Whatever style you are looking for, you will find beautifully crafted furniture of exceptional value and the unmatched Fitterers customer service to make this shopping experience one you will keep coming back to. Make a point of visiting Fitterers Furniture in downtown Ellensburg.
Quality selection and service since 1896.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, I recently read a book, Psycho USA by Harold Schechter. Now, this book discusses real but little known American serial killers from the period of 1782 to 1961. Now, although the term serial killer didn't come into vogue until the 1960s, Schechter presents case after case, which shows that serial killers have been a part of American society since the beginning of the society. Schechter suggests that also firearms have made murder of multiple individuals more efficient. Serial killers of our past have simply used the current technology of their time, such as hatchets, which seem to have been very popular, to commit their multiple murders. Schechter also argues convincingly that individuals committing these acts were what is responsible for the crimes they committed, that they were responsible for the crimes they committed, not the tools they use. And I have to say I agree as best as possible. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Sun Mountain Lodge's romantic fall color package starts at $228 per couple. Including room, full breakfast, and gratuities. Valid dates and other details are at sunmountainlodge.com.
Wapato Point Cellars has become legendary for fine dining, exclusive award-winning wines, and entertainment. It all starts noon daily with wine tasting and delightful lunch selections. At 5 p.m. it's dinner time with an extensive menu, music, cocktails, and of course those wonderful wines. Indoors or out and always family-friendly, Wapato Point Cellars delivers a truly wonderful combination that few can match. Take the short drive to Manson and see for yourself how good it can be. Great wine, great food, great friends.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. I had a beautiful drive up the Tumwater, although the leaves are probably past their peak at this point, but not here at the beautiful YMCA camp at the shores on the north shore of Lake Wenatchee. They'll be participating in Make a Difference Day, not just on Saturday, but really all weekend long. It's something they've been doing for years. They just get the camp all winterized and cleaned up and ready to go. And Tim is the guy who runs this joint, lives up here, as a matter of fact. You're around. Tim, introduce yourself to our television family.
Well, I'm Tim McElravy, camp director here at the Lake Wenatchee YMCA camp, and those of you who know me, and those of you who don't, hi. So, yeah.
First of all, thanks for accepting my invitation to come up here. I forgot how beautiful this place is. I haven't been up here in a couple of years. How did you land a gig where you get to live up here year-round in this gorgeous campus, in this gorgeous facility? How did you land this dream job? I suppose it's a dream job.
This is a dream job. I've been doing it. This was my 18th summer up here, 19 if you count the year I was a counselor. In '94 when we had all the fires. But if I got probably deep and philosophical, I'd say this was a 100% a God thing, and this is what God put me on earth to be, as a camp director up here. I love it. I don't think I've ever had a bad day.
I can see why. Again, it's just gorgeous. Give me a quick synopsis of what your plans are for Make a Difference Day weekend. It's not just on the 26th, but but you'll be doing some work here on both days this weekend. Give us a brief synopsis of what you have planned for the folks who want to come up and give you a hand.
Well, every year we do two work weekends, or actually we do three. We do two in the spring, in April, and then we do this one in the fall. And the one in the fall is really set up to help get us ready for winter. When the summer season's not in full swing, I am the only person that works up here year-round. So right now we're doing all our budgets and planning for next year, which puts off a lot of the maintenance and just getting all these benches and all that stuff put up for winter. We get a lot of snow up here, as you know. So a lot of that's just getting ready for winter. And then in the spring, it's getting ready for the spring and summer and that kind of deal. So I've got tons of jobs. I've got full list of activities and jobs for all types. People that want to work indoors, people that want to work outdoors, young and old, kids, even jobs for dogs if you want to bring your dog up. So, yeah.
Do you get cabin fever up here about January or February, being, out here and by yourself? Or do you get through it okay?
No, it's cool. There was a time when I was like, oh, I really love the snow. And and I can't wait for the snow and a white Christmas. And then, about getting out there every morning and plowing snow and keeping everything open in here, it can get old quick. So, but I love all the seasons up here. I love the time. I've got my family up here, and I've got activities. I'm part of Leavenworth Rotary and the fire department up here, so I get lots of social interaction, so it doesn't become like The Shining or anything like that. But
all work and no play makes Tim a dull boy. Yeah,
nothing like that. So, it gets it's certainly fun to see the kids come back in the spring, and likewise, it's about time for them to go back to school in the fall when fall comes around. So
everybody, when I told everybody around the office that I'm going to come up and see Tim and we're going to interview him and walk around the Y Camp, everybody has Y Camp stories. I think every kid that I know, even growing up, and now here I am in my mid-50s, has just fond memories of being up here, either as a camper as a kid or coming up in the summertime as part of the Y program or part of the school district, or even being a counselor as they get old. There's something magic in the air of this place, isn't there?
Yeah, when we talk about that a lot, there's a lot of camp magic. And so, even these weekends, we do a lot of work and stuff like that, but we do a lot of, standing around the fire, reminiscing. Just today, you were sharing some of your camp stories and that kind of deal. And there's a lot of that will go on. And it's really cool to see the different generations of people that have come up to camp. Some of them are alumni. Some of them are just folks from the community that live out here on the lake or heard about us on the website and was like, hey, I want to come up and volunteer. But you get a good mix of all the different camp stories, and some of the younger kids will tell me, well, they did that back. Like, we couldn't do that today. But it's fun to see that. And it's a good opportunity for folks to get out and just kind of breathe some fresh air, give back a little bit, and have a great weekend. Fun.
Yeah, Lake Chelan, it is not. Lake Wenatchee is an entirely different well. For me, it's a back to nature kind of a thing. Even just the smell of this place brings back the memories. It really does. Are you ready to take a tour and talk about Make a Difference Day, some of the projects?
Let's do it. I'd love to show you guys around, and we need the help. So
let's do it. Let's take a tour.
Well, this is one of the cabins that you could stay in when you come up here for the work party, and I chose this one because this is actually where Dan stayed when he came to camp here in 6th grade camp years ago. So I won't say how long ago. Dan, you can reveal that, but
1977.
Wow, I was 2 years old. There we go. But yeah, you can stay here in a cabin. They're heated by wood stoves, so bring your sleeping bag and your pillow and warm bed in at night because when the fire dies down, your heat goes away. So someone's got to get up and stoke the fire. But it's a fun kind of adventure. So here's an example of one of the projects that a volunteer did for us that was kind of unplanned. This big stump you're looking at here was a huge Doug fir tree that came down in a windstorm, as we get up here sometimes, and left where I'm standing a huge crater, probably 6 foot deep, and we were rerouting the trail up and around because I don't have the equipment here to do that. So we had a neighbor from across the street from us, brought his little excavator over here, moved the stump, filled this in literally 5 minutes. That would have taken me, by myself to move that. Probably not possible. So that's, volunteers mean everything to us. So we couldn't get a lot of the stuff done up here without them. So very important. So there's another project. You see the dock behind me that we want to get that U-dock taken apart. It comes apart in 3 sections. And we want to set it up so that it can ride the winter storms out up here. A few years back, we had a lot of ice up on Lake Wenatchee, and in the spring, it actually drug our dock down towards the state park, and was another spring work project, and one to get it back and then to get it repaired, ready for kids in the summertime. So I've got that set up to be taken apart and stored closer to our beach here so that we can keep it safe for the winter. All right, here we're at the archery range where we've got another project set up. So we got to take all the targets down. We actually put a big old tarp over the straw to protect it from the snow, because the snow does pile up here. And then if we get any folks that are handy with a hammer and saw and nails, we've got some fence repairs to do just kind of around the perimeter of our archery range here. So this is a smaller project, but again, takes probably 4 or 5 volunteers to get it all done. So this is one of the funnest jobs, and that is tending the burn pile. So you see behind me, we've got some slash that we've piled up from previous work party projects in the spring, and we're going to get this burned off this fall. So I've got this burn pile, I've got one back here in the woods a little further back, and then a couple on the other side of camp. So we need someone to be able to stand here with a rake and to be able to make sure that fire stays where it's supposed to stay, and maybe even talk and share some old camp stories around here. If Dan comes up, he can tell you about the Barnum and Bailey circus that derailed up here near Winton. So there's the age-old adage of how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood. If you come this weekend, we will tell you all about that, because I've got this wood pile here and many more like this, where we rely on our volunteers to cut, split, and stack this firewood. In all, we'll put up around 20 cord of wood this winter, which will help our guest groups that come up in the wintertime, as well as our spring and summer groups have nice, warm, toasty fires in their cabins. We need people that can run a saw safely, and then also run a splitter. I've got one splitter at camp and then another volunteer bringing up another. So if you've got a wood splitter, give me a call and we'll put it to good use up here. If you've got work gloves, bring work gloves. That's probably the biggest thing. And bring clothes you don't mind getting a little grubby and dirty. We have showers, you can shower here and all that after your work day. But bring your work gloves. We do have rakes and shovels and things like that. If you've got your own tools, bring them. Just make sure you're keeping good track of them, and maybe write your name on them so they don't get mixed up with everybody else's and that. So, all right, we're down here at our greenhouses. If you've got a green thumb and you're a gardener and you want to help down here, we've got a couple projects here. One, we've got to take the greenhouse frames apart and store them for the winter. Again, the snow up here will collapse these. There's so much snow that we get up here. And then we want to till the gardens under and get them ready for planting in the spring, and then come back out in the spring and help us put it back together. Here we're out in front of our new cabin, the Eric Nelson cabin, and this was one that we just finished and opened up this spring. You can stay in this cabin when you come up for the work party. One of the other projects we've got going on is we've got to go through all the cabins and just get them swept out, cleaned out. Sometimes, we get little critters that like to come in and make their nests in there, so we go in there and clean them out and get them ready for the winter. And so you can be a part of doing that. So this is a one that we're pretty proud of. It's a 20-bed cabin, and allows us to have 2 cabin groups in here versus just the 1 cabin group. So we have indoor projects too. So if you don't want to work outside, or firewood splitting or burn pile tending is not your jam, you can come in here, and we've got projects in our kitchen. We will need folks to kind of help prepare meals for the week, for the weekend, for the volunteers that are up here, as well as just doing some of our yearly inventory and kind of deep cleaning stuff that we do at the beginning and end of the season. So if you want to be inside, we've got plenty of opportunities for you to do that. So the flags you see represent the different countries of where we have recruited some of our staff from. We get staff from all over, from not just here in the Wenatchee Valley, but from all over the U.S. and all over the world. So it makes for a great experience for kids to be able to talk with and befriend people from other countries, and makes our world a little bit smaller. And despite what we might see on TV and in the news, we really can get along and work together and play nice in the sandbox. All right, so come up Saturday, October 26th and Sunday, October 27th. Join us for Make a Difference Day, our fall work weekend, and we'd love to have you. If you come up, bring your sleeping bag, bring your pillow, bring your bedding for if you plan to stay in one of the cabins. Give me a call either at the camp, 509-763-9622, or you can email me, and I'll make sure you have my email. And then, so that way I know how many people are coming to feed you. Bring your work gloves. If you've got tools and you can run a saw, if you've got a splitter, we could totally use that. And just come up. You can come up Friday night if you'd like. The work will start about 9 a.m. on Saturday and continue till 5, and then about 9 till 2 on Sunday. And we'll have meals for you, breakfast at 8, lunch around noon, 1 o'clock, and then dinner about 6 p.m. or so. We'll have a great time. I look forward to seeing you.
Come see how very different you will feel in your Bullfrog Spa.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We are continuing our profile of Make a Difference Day projects coming up on the weekend of Saturday the 26th. We are at Camp Zanika Lache, which is a Native American name for rainy October afternoon. No, it's not what it means. It's a little drizzly outside, but it's not dampening our spirits. Joining me is Carla Cox, who has a brand new gig she just started. Introduce yourself to our television family.
Hi, I'm Carla Cox, otherwise known as Mouse, to all you campers out there. I started October 1st working as the summer camp director for Campfire, North Central Washington region.
Just like the Y Camp, which we visited earlier, this place brings back a lot of memories for me, having a family cabin here on the south shore of Lake Wenatchee. I forgot how beautiful Camp Zanika Lache is. This place is heaven.
Every season, it's just a different kind of beauty. Yeah, if you just go 2 feet, the colors just are amazing.
And yet, it still has that rustic feeling to it. It's a smaller campus than the Y campus in many respects, but it feels a little more primitive, I guess, is the best way to put it.
Yeah, we're very primitive here. We're 13 acres on national forest land. We try to keep with the original buildings and the original concept of the camp.
It's so cool, and it smells great, too. Make a Difference Day is coming up, of course. You got a lot of projects. This is something that Camp Zanika Lache has been doing every year, almost, I think, since Make a Difference Day started. It's your traditional. We got to winterize things. We got to clean things up for the fall before the snow comes. Give us an idea before we take our tour what we're going to see and what you have plans for the folks who want to come up with strong backs and work gloves and make this great campus as great as it always is.
Some things are as simple as we have to put a tent away, or we have a lot of firewood to chop, leaves to rake, limbs that are down that we have to pick up. Our picnic tables, they need to be put away, moving beds, cleaning out things, winterizing, so we can put the camp to bed for winter.
Is the camp going to bed for winter? Because I know you do rent it out occasionally to private parties, but is that season done for the year?
I don't have anything on my books right away. In January is, again, when we start with snow camp for the Boy Scouts, and then we move into more events.
You must love this job, even though you've only been at it for a couple of weeks.
Well, I have done 2 summers here, and it's just about the kids, and it's about the fun and joy.
And the kids have memories here, don't they? The kids who come up here to Zanika Lache for, how long has this place been here? 50, 60 years, something like that?
Since 1932, we've been here.
Well, so that would be 87 years.
Yes, 87 years.
My math teacher was right. I'm still not very bright. Are you ready to take a tour, Carla?
I'm ready to take a tour.
Let's do it. Let's stay dry.
So this is the shack. Many of you know it. One of our winter projects is to take this down and store the beds that are in it for the winter. The whole tent will come down, the frame stays. So we're at the waterfront, and you can see that we still have our boats out. We're gonna have to put our boats away for storage. We're gonna clean up the waterfront. The dock's already been pulled in, but we still have cleaning to do down there. And then there's picnic tables out. We're gonna have to put those up for storage. And then over here at the council fire, we're gonna have to clean that up and put things away, put the wood rack into the dining room, and we'll get that filled as well. So as you can see, we still have part of our archery range out, and we have to put all of these backs into storage and take down our backdrop That way they don't get ruined by the winter snows. So as you can see, we do have a small pile of wood here. We're hoping another one will be donated before October 26th. So we will be splitting and cutting firewood. And if you have chainsaws, log splitters, axes, safety goggles, and obviously work gloves, feel free to bring them to help us out so we can have firewood for the winter and for the rest of next summer. Okay, so here we are in the holiday house. This is our infirmary. This is where our nurse stays and our sick or hurt kids come. And right now we have a plumbing problem. Our water heater is leaking and the pipes underneath the holiday house bathroom are leaking too. And we want our nurses to be nice and comfortable so they keep coming back and volunteering their time every year. So if you're a plumber and you want to help us out, please show up with your tools. So this is Bob the Boulder. We're on National Forest Service land, and they said this is a danger, so we need to remove it. And obviously we can't blow it up, so if we could get 4 or 5 really strong guys to come help us move it, that would be very appreciated. So here we are in Pumper Bear, one of our cabins, and we have to go through and clean and winterize all 12 of our cabins. So we are going to have to sanitize all the mattresses and stack them for storage purposes. We will make sure the cabins are secure and insulated as best as we can. So if you have window insulating kits or you want to bring just some bleach and a rag, that's great. Come on up. So as you can see, we have a lot of leaves down, there's down limbs. So we're gonna need people with strong backs to be raking and picking everything up so we can have a nice large burn pile. We have picnic tables that need to be picked up and stored for the winter so the snow doesn't get them. So if you have rakes, loppers, a strong back, please join us, and as we're burning the trash, we will enjoy some s'mores. Here we are in the Kiwanis Lodge, and I just want to invite all you to come out and help campfire. The more helpers we have out here, the more money we save, so we can give camperships to our kids. So come out, bring your loppers, your shears, your chainsaws, bring your plumber brother-in-law or electrician boyfriend, bring your kids, bring work clothes, bring a sleeping bag because the cabins will be a little chilly even though we will have a heater in there. We will be riding Saturday lunch, Saturday dinner, and Sunday breakfast. Let us know how many of you are coming out and when you're going to be here. So you can reach us at the Campfire office in Wenatchee or at Camp Zanika on Facebook. So come on out and have fun.
Find it all at Wenatchee Valley Mall. There's something for all ages at Wenatchee Valley Mall. No matter what the weather, the kids will have fun in one of the many play areas around the mall. Sign your kids up for fun adventures and super specials when they join the Kids Club. It's a great time for kids and an even better time out for parents. Check out specials and events 24/7 at WenatcheeValleyMall.com. It's your Wenatchee Valley Mall. Come shop today. And we are back here from Studio 3. One more time for the National Weather Service, your windy weather forecast. A wind advisory has been in effect for just about an hour. It goes until 5 o'clock this afternoon. Pretty consistent west winds, about 15 to 25 miles an hour. In the Wenatchee Valley, we'll have gusts above 30 on the Waterville Plateau and some of the exposed ridges. And in some of the canyons and hollers, you could see winds gusting at 45 miles an hour. But lots of sunshine today. Lots of sunshine really through the forecast period, although we'll cool down quite a bit by the time we get to the weekend, including Make a Difference Day Saturday. All right, provided the show wasn't canceled, I'll see you Wednesday. Take care, bye-bye.